Hello guys and welcome back to our computer networks course. So in this lecture we would be discussing timers. Alright, so let's get into it and see how timers are actually working, right? So we have already talked a little bit about timers, right? And we saw only one type of timer, right? We have only talked about one type of timer, and that was a retransmission timer, right? And we said that we would wait a certain period of time and then we would be retransmitting something, right? So let's see those but in a little bit more detail. Alright, so we have four types of timers. Okay, we have four types of timers and let's talk a bit about them. So the first type is your retransmission timer, right? So this was basically how long do I wait for an acknowledgement, right? Your retransmission timer is how long do I wait for an acknowledgement. So let me give a short brief and then maybe we will discuss them in detail, right? So retransmission timer is how long do I wait for acknowledgement. ठीक है. Your persistence is how long do I tolerate inactivity from receiver. ठीक है. Keep alive is the exact opposite of persistence, right? This is how long do I tolerate inactivity from sender. ठीक है. And then time and wait is basically the time you need to wait to properly terminate a connection. ठीक है. The time you need to wait to properly terminate a connection. Alright, so let's talk about our retransmission timer, right? So a retransmission timer is basically how long would I wait for my acknowledgement, right? Before I resend stuff. Okay. So you set a certain time that is based upon your round trip time, right? So obviously you would know how long this guy would take to send my message and then get the acknowledgement back, and based upon this information you set a retransmission timer, right? And if it crosses that retransmission timer, what I'm going to do is send this guy again, right? Because probably this guy got lost or this guy got lost, right? I do not know which one, so I would need to resend it, right? So that is what your retransmission timer is. Alright, so do you remember Clark's algorithm now? We discussed it a little while back and we said that a receiver has a silly application that cannot accept information at a good pace. So what the solution was that you say that you have space, you don't have space, so you say that my receiving window, right, my receiving window is 0, right? I don't have space. So basically receiver is acting in a way that's saying I cannot accept anymore, please stay there, right? It is acting idle, it is acting inactive, right? So how long will a sender tolerate this kind of behavior, right? How long is the sender going to wait for a receiver to change his window size, right? Before terminating or before doing something about it, right? So that is what your persistence timer does. Your keep alive timer is the exact opposite. Okay, so that means your receiver is waiting on the sender because your sender has gone idle, right? So let's see. I have my sender, I have my receiver. This guy was sending some stuff and we sent some acknowledgements, right? He sent some stuff, we sent some acknowledgements. Now what happened was suddenly he stopped sending me stuff. Okay, I don't know if he actually stopped sending me stuff or if my packages started getting lost or if something else happened. The thing is how long should I maintain this connection, right? I am allocating some resources to this connection. How long should I do this, right? So how long should I keep alive an idle connection, right? A connection that is not being used, how long should that be kept alive? That is what your keep alive timer is, right? And this was how long should I be persistent, right? How long should I be persistent? How long should I wait for my receiver to receive stuff? That was your persistence timer. Keep alive is how long should how long should a idle channel be kept alive? Okay. So that was your keep alive channel, right? Keep alive timer. The fourth type of timer is simply your time and wait, right? So we talked about this before, but let's do this. So do you remember when we talked about three-way handshake and how we terminate connections, right? So there was a fin thing, right? There was a fin package, and then there was fin and ACK. Okay, and then this guy also said ACK. Okay, so the time taken for these things is what your time and wait is. Okay. So what that basically means is once that timer is over, you would end the connection anyways, right? So matlab, something gets lost, something gets lost, right? Matlab, this is the time it would ideally take. This is the time it would ideally take for your termination to end, right? This is the time that it would take to end your connection. Okay, to properly terminate your connection. So that was all our timers. Let's go back and revise once, right? So retransmission, how long do I wait for an acknowledgement to come before I retransmit, right? Do I retransmit right now? Do I wait for 10 more seconds? Do I wait for 5 more seconds, right? How long do I wait before retransmitting stuff? So that is basically, will I receive acknowledgement soon, or is it probably lost? That is what it is. And then comes your persistence, right? Persistence was how long will you tolerate inactivity from your receiver, right? Receiver said I cannot receive anymore, please wait for some time, right? So how long am I going to be persistent on waiting for this guy, right? How long am I going to be waiting for this guy before saying okay, I'm done? Okay. Then was your keep alive timer. So now your sender is stopped, your sender has gone idle, but your receiver says okay, maybe he would come back, right? He was talking with me, maybe there is some issue, maybe he'll come back in a second. So how long do I need to wait, right? How long do I need to wait before I terminate this connection? Okay, because if I don't do that, then people can just make connection, then they would never end it, and I would be overloaded with things, right? So I need to have that as well. Okay, so that was your keep alive timer. And time and wait is simply the time that is required to terminate a connection properly. All right, so that was all our timers. Let's meet next time.